currently supports around 15,000 organisations to promote more than 5,000 jobs in a year.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Careers Cafe, the podcast where we dive into the world of work and explore the many pathways you can take in your career journey. I'm your host, Ona, and today we have an exciting episode lined up for you. We are shining a spotlight on a sector that's full of opportunities to make a real difference in the world, the third sector. If you ever wondered what it's like to work in charities, nonprofits, or social enterprises, or if you're looking to make a meaningful career change, this episode is for you. We're going to explore the diverse range of roles within the third sector, the skills you need to thrive, and the incredible impact you can have. We are thrilled to feature a special industry spotlight, the Scottish Council for Voluntary Organisations, or SCVO, as the national body representing the interests of charities, voluntary organisations and social enterprises in Scotland. SCVO plays a pivotal role in supporting the sector. We'll be talking about the amazing work they do and how you can get involved. So Mary and Susan, welcome and thank you for joining us today. And would you like to tell us about SCVO, please?
Okay, I'm Susan. I'm the Sales and Marketing Officer with the GoodMoves team at SCVO. So as you've mentioned, SCVO is a kind of support and membership body. So it stands for Scottish Council for Voluntary Organisations, and we're the membership body for the third sector in Scotland. I'm aware that some people might not be sure what we mean by the third sector, so we'd just like to start by giving a bit of a definition of that. So in the UK and Scotland, organisations or companies can be categorised into three sectors. You have your public sector, which is local national government, or bodies like the NHS and police service, which are set up to provide public services. You have the private sector, which is companies operating for a profit and includes small local businesses like you might find in your local high street, your broadband provider, all the way up to global companies like Amazon. And then we have the third sector, what we're here to talk about today. And this includes registered charities, social enterprises and community interest companies. Now, these are organisations that are run for the benefit of individuals and communities rather than for profit. They deliver a huge range of often essential services to individuals and communities. So third sector organisations are driven by values over profit, and if any profit is generated by their activities, they are reinvested back into services instead of going to shareholders. The third sector is made up of 45,000 organisations and employs 135,000 people, which accounts for a significant part of the economy in Scotland. Our sector is known by different names: charity, voluntary, NGO, civil society and the not-for-profit sector. So we'll stick to third sector today just to keep things simple. So the third sector is diverse and includes small grassroots organisations, which may be mostly volunteer run, and listeners may be aware of operating in their local community, such as youth groups or food banks. Organisations providing services across the UK, like Macmillan Cancer Support or Age UK, and those operating internationally. I think most people will be familiar with organisations like the Red Cross or UNICEF. And it also includes organisations you might not typically think of charities, like housing associations, higher education, sports club, and even Edinburgh Zoo as a charity. So what's SCVO's role in this? So our mission is to champion the role of voluntary organisations in building a flourishing society and supporting them to do work which has a positive impact. We've got a wide range of teams in SCVO working to support our members and the wider third sector. And we do this by lobbying and campaigning on policy issues, providing information and support to help people set up and run their organisations, providing access to fundraising opportunities, organisation support such as payroll, HR and office space, and the GoodMoves Recruitment Hub, which promotes jobs and career paths in the third sector while providing a cost and effective and quality service.
That's great, amazing. So there are so many organisations we haven't thought they were third sectors. They're registered charities, aren't they? You know, higher education and some of the organisations that you mentioned. So Mary, would you like to tell us about who you are and what you do?
Yes, of course. I'm Mary. I also work with the GoodMoves team in SCVO. I'm the Sales, Marketing and Financial Control Officer. So in terms of GoodMoves, our kind of main mission, being part of SCVO, we aim to promote the third sector in Scotland through the GoodMoves website. So that would be providing a cost-effective advertising platform for the organisations within the sector to share their job opportunities and promote the work they do. For job seekers that maybe considering a career in the sector, or for those looking to move around within the sector, the site offers a central, accessible, informative place for those people to look. The GoodMoves website is the main source of information and advice. It's kind of like a research tool for those who are curious to find out more about jobs in the sector. And ourselves and our colleague Francis, we're continuously looking at new ways to share information about GoodMoves. So it's not just on the website. It's about attending events such as careers fairs and information sessions, and just getting the message out there about the sector, the roles they've got, the kind of organisations they are, and where to access that information. When we're speaking to people, there seems to be the belief that working in the sector means just unpaid volunteering or charity shop roles. Of course, those roles are important in the sector, but it's our aim to provide a kind of wider insight into the roles that are available and the diverse roles that are available, and then help them to change that perception, in the hope that we encourage new and diverse skills and experience into the sector.
Great. So yeah, we're busting the myth of third sector non-profit organisations or charities. They don't pay, it's all voluntary work. But actually there are so many amazing jobs that people do and do get paid and go up their career ladder, and while making an impactful work in the world and making a difference in society. That's amazing. So do you have any success stories?
Yes, so as Mary mentioned above, we're always kind of looking at new ways to share information and develop our resources. So as part of this, we developed some third sector career case studies, which involved interviewing people from across the sector to showcase both the different jobs available and how varied career paths can be. The two that stand out for me there, first of all, we had Tarek. Tarek graduated in IT, but had always had an interest and a passion for helping others in the third sector. And after graduating, he worked in a variety of development roles, which provided advice to clients, developing services, as well as in IT and communication roles. And this took him to the position of digital officer with One Parent Family Scotland. They're a charity which provides support and advocates for single parent families. So in the role of digital officer, he introduced new digital systems, helped streamline business processes to make the work of his colleagues providing the frontline support easier. So just an example there how the third sector needs people in the background improving processes and operations and so on. And since we produced the case study, Tarek's now progressed to the role of digital and IT services lead. So he's a really great example of how the third sector needs people from different backgrounds to run their organisation, and how it can offer really good career progression. I think the other career case study that stood out for me was Nicola, who actually graduated in secondary school teaching, but after working in the job for a while, realised that although she loved working with young people, her passions lay elsewhere. So using the GoodMoves website, she was able to look at other careers and opportunities were available to her, apply for a new job. And this took her to taking up the position of Youth Engagement Officer with the Carers Trust, where she was able to strengthen and develop her skills, and again has now progressed to the position of programme lead. So another real progression story there. So again, I think that shows there's a place in the third sector for people from all backgrounds, and you can check out the full range of case studies in the advice section of our website.
That's fantastic. So it shows that, if you studied, for example, IT, information technology and computing, it doesn't have to be Amazon or,
exactly,
Facebook
yes.
or Google, etc. There are amazing jobs.
Yes, the third sector needs these skills too.
As well. And also the teaching qualification can give you different, transferable skills and qualification to use in different areas as well. So that's really good, because sometimes students think that the degree they have or the qualification they have are only useful for what they train for, forgetting that these are actually skills and abilities that they can use. It's like opening different doors. They have one key, but they can open different doors for these as well. So because we are a university, we are interested in how you support graduates. So can you share what kind of support you offer, please?
Most third sector organisations are looking to build diverse, inclusive and equitable workplaces. So they're happy to share information and resources themselves about their values, the work they do and how they can support job seekers and graduates. So it's always, we always recommend, having a look at their websites for any information and resources they might have and support that might offer. And then in terms of careers within the sector, charities do acknowledge and encourage ongoing personal development and training and are flexible when recruiting. So just touching on what you were saying about the transferable skills and that people not necessarily being aware that they can use those or to expand their career within the sector. We do see a lot of adverts stating that, if job seekers feel they don't necessarily fit all the criteria, but they're passionate about the organisation's values, they are encouraged to apply anyway, because they may have that experience or skills that are transferable. But also the organisations sometimes say, it might be skills and experience that they didn't know they needed from that person. So yeah, I mean, the third sector organisations are very approachable and very open. They'll have lots of different resources, as I say, on their websites and their social media. The sector can be difficult to understand and navigate. So GoodMoves researches and provides information to help people to gain a better understanding of the career paths, working with organisations, their values, and why people want to work in the sector. And that's what the website platform's about, as well as attending events, and recording webinars, and also carrying out customer and job seeker feedback surveys. So, there are good sources of information and resources for graduates interested in the sector and GoodMoves. The GoodMoves website itself, the main source of information in terms of job searching. So, and it's unique from different platforms. We only advertise roles available with not-for-profit organisations in the sector. The salary information is transparent, so we try to make sure that all the salary information is visible on the adverts, so that's clear. The site is updated on an ongoing basis. So, for example, when application deadlines are reached, the adverts will come off the website. So you're only seeing adverts that are live at that time. We also offer the weekly email alert. So, and it only includes any new adverts that have been uploaded since the last email has been received. Users can also choose what roles they want to receive. So we're not like other sites where we apply categories against roles which aren't applicable. We try and match them correctly. And the website itself is easy to navigate, and adverts are quite clearly laid out.
So what impact has GoodMoves had on the community and the voluntary sector since its launch? Because it's very much needed platform.
Recent stats show the GoodMoves currently supports around 15,000 organisations to promote more than 5,000 jobs in a year. And looking at feedback surveys that we do, organisations are keen to be working alongside the platform with similar ethos as them. Advertising costs are a big thing for charities. Some are quite small and rely on funding or donations to actually deliver their services. So, having a standard cost and keeping those down compared to other sectors is something that customers really appreciate. Regular feedback shows that adverts on GoodMoves generate high quality candidates. We receive daily feedback, including emails. A lot of those thanks for the prompt, straightforward booking process. Thanks for the help from the team and individuals, and for the support and guidance throughout the process. And generally 90% of our customers are happy with the GoodMoves service.
That's great. So while you're talking about receiving good emails, the feedback, can you share a personal story of a volunteer or organisation that stands out to you?
I think a good one for me was one of our webinars. So another resource we provide is our careers in webinars, which each focusing on a different area of the sector. So there can be a great learning experience for us as well as our learners, because we're speaking to people doing the job and kind of digging into a bit more detail there. So for our careers in the environmental sector, we had a speaker from an organisation called Forth Environment Link. They're a charity in Forth Valley delivering active travel, food growing and reuse and recycling projects, and doing that in partnership with the NHS, communities and employers. So one of our speakers, Stephen, was a senior active travel project officer, and he told us about his career path, as well as giving us some tips and advice for job searches and applications. So he actually started his career in sports coaching, which gave him training qualifications he would later support his role in active travel. He then completed a master's in sustainability while at the same time doing some voluntary fundraising for an environmental charity. So I just found it really interesting to hear how all these experience provided him with the skills and experience for his current job. And it's just one story of a career path in the third sector, which shows that there are many different qualifications, skills and experience which can contribute to landing your dream job. And he also provided some great job search and application tips. This included following organisations he wanted to work for in social media, setting up GoodMoves job alerts under the relevant categories and sectors, and to not, this kind of echoes what Mary said earlier, not to be afraid to apply for jobs where you don't tick all the boxes, but instead look at where you do fit and where you think training would be needed. And he also highlighted that his voluntary fundraising experience was a game changer as a talking point when he came to interview. So just having a little bit of volunteer experience was allowed him to really sell himself at interview and have something which pitched him above the other candidates.
What are some of the most memorable or impactful moments you've experienced working with GoodMoves?
For myself, as SCVO employees, we're regularly involved in the Scottish Charity Awards. So that's a celebration of the vibrancy and diversity of the sector in Scotland. And I've been involved in the shortlisting panel and also attending the awards ceremonies over the years. And just reading about the work the organisations do, seeing the evidence of impact is great. So many different organisations, causes and individuals involved. Then when it comes to the award night itself, you're meeting the people, hearing the stories from employers, employees, volunteers or recipients, and it's all about their journeys, whether they were supported by the organisation or whether it's their career path and into the sector and any other way that they got involved. It's uplifting, it's heartwarming, it's just amazing, and it makes you feel proud to be part of the sector. And each year brings new stories and new projects and things that you had never thought of or weren't aware of. So just for me, it's just a reminder of why I love working in the sector and with GoodMoves.
I think for me, we kind of do have a mostly desk-based jobs, but we do get out and about to careers events, face-to-face, a lot in higher education. I think one which really stands out for me is being at a careers fair at Aberdeen University, and I was chatting to someone who was about to graduate with their politics degree. They had a lot of volunteering and youth work experience, and they were keen to start a career in policy, but had never heard of the GoodMoves website, and we were the perfect platform for them to start using. So it was just through our conversation it became clear that it was an ideal place for her and her job search and future career, and it was just really great seeing her excitement and the feeling that we really helped someone that day.
It's really good to have that feedback. So what can students and graduates do to kickstart their career in the third sector like yourselves?
Well, I think the third sector doesn't tend to unfortunately offer too many specific graduate or internship opportunities, but there are other ways to gain experience and kind of start your career. So first of all, volunteering is a great way to gain workplace experience, and the time commitment can be flexible around your studies. It also provides you with new contacts and networks you can use as references for job applications or perhaps as mentors for your career. So some examples of some things you could do is a lot of small, again, I think we are referencing small charities a lot, but they are a good place to get experience. They may not have the budget or capacity for a comms and marketing team, so it might be provide there the opportunity to undertake a piece of practical work supporting them with that, which is going to have demonstrable outcomes for your CV. Or if you were interested in a career in event management, there are loads of charities looking for fundraising and events volunteers where you can get involved in the planning of running events, again, short or long-term basis to kind of suit your needs. If you go to the GoodMoves website, there is a volunteering tab, and that will take you through to a partner website called Volunteer Scotland. And that lets you search the opportunities based on keyword and location. And if there is a particular cause or piece of work you want to do, we just really encourage you to reach out to the organisation if you'd like to do some volunteering work with them. So in terms of applying for jobs, it can be hard to get your foot in the door and gain experience that the recruiters are looking for. We'd maybe recommend looking at the entry-level jobs on GoodMoves, such as in administration or assistant opportunities, and get into the detail of the job description. Often you'll find that something that's advertised as an administration role will often provide, particularly with small organisation, an administration role, or if you aren't quite sure yet where your passion lies, these entry-level roles can involve working with a range of departments, so helping you find the right fit. For anyone who's looking to progress a career in management, it can be worth considering becoming a charity trustee or board member, as they might be called. So these are also voluntary roles, but charity boards oversee the management of and make decisions on the running of the charity, such as strategic direction and budget decisions. Charities are passionate about diversity and inclusion, as Mary's mentioned, and they're often looking to get a more diverse mix of people on the board, such as ethnic minority groups and young people. Some of these opportunities might look for senior level experience, but others recruit based more on values and passion and will provide training and support for new trustees. These are longer term voluntary roles, but will offer great experience at management level and also give you insight into how the third sector works.
Yeah, that's great. I always direct students and graduates to Volunteer Scotland website as well. And yeah, as you mentioned, the subjects students are studying, they could always find opportunities, whether it's volunteering or whether it's entry level or trustees and board members. Some of them get paid, some of them don't, but it's a fantastic experience to get reference, whether it's a board member or not. Even any job, any volunteering opportunity, really, you can ask for reference. And I feel sometimes with international students as well, they are not aware of these opportunities, and they have amazing amount of different transferable skills from where they grew up as well or worked. And not all the students are school leavers coming in. Many of them are mature students with previous experience. So I would say just go for it, be brave and apply and see what happens in general. So that's really good. So how can listeners support or get involved with GoodMoves?
Anyone looking for work or who isn't quite sure about the work of the third sector, if they want to join the third sector, what jobs they have to offer, then I'd suggest GoodMoves as a good starting point. You'll be able to see the scope of organisations. You can use the search function on the website. You can sign up to save your searches and preferences for the e-bulletin. Visit the SCVO and GoodMoves YouTube channels to view the webinars and the case studies that we mentioned. There will be more webinars to come covering the different areas within the sector. We've only done community development and environmental at the moment and information. So we're looking to do a lot more of those. And keep an eye on our social media pages, so your X and LinkedIn.
Okay, that's great. What's the web address?
So it's goodmoves.org.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, both Susan and Mary. It's been really insightful.
Thank you for having us.
You have been listening to the UWS Careers Cafe, the podcast from UWS Careers team with hosts Una Ramsey and Nigel Royal, where we talk about everything related to student and graduate careers. If you have enjoyed listening to this episode, please check out the others in the series. Also, you can follow the link in the description to our website, where you will find an amazing array of career resources to help you forge your path to a rewarding career.